Hello.
Hello there.
Welcome back to the Slumber Horror. Oh my goodness. Horror Slumber Party podcast. Why can I not say that?
I don't know, but I can say it better than you in a British accent.
Why are you trying to out-British me? You're not even British.
Because I love the British. Thank you, Millie Bobby Brown.
Isn't she Australian?
What? No, she's British.
Isn't she Australian?
No, not at all.
I don't know.
Millie Bobby Brown?
Yeah.
She's British.
I don't know why I don't believe you.
Yeah, I don't know either. I'm kind of concerned.
Wait.
She lived in Australia for a little bit.
That's probably
Maybe that's what you're talking about?
Yeah, that's probably what I'm thinking of. You know, she's totally British. I don't know.
Oh, you wrapped up, didn't you?
I think I read somewhere that she was from Australia. But anyway.
Distractions. Real quick, let me just say I'm glad this isn't a YouTube channel because I look disgusting.
You know,
no one can see my face.
I have my leggings pulled up to like above my belly button.
We love a Steve Urkel fit.
And also, I definitely have mascara under my eyes. There's absolutely not a doubt about it.
I think I still have glue on my eyelids, actually.
That's lovely.
Because I was wearing eyelashes over the weekend for, like, the first time in forever, so...
Okay, yeah, that explains the glue. I wouldn't assume that you just, like, put a glue stick on. It's a good eye primer, actually.
That's what I do, to, like, set my eyeshadow, yeah.
Oh, you do it after you do the eyeshadow?
Oh!
You just, like, put some glue on a brush and then you just...
Yes.
keep
It's
it on.
actually... No, I dye, glue black. And then I use that
that's perfect.
as mascara.
Wow, and then at the end of the day, you just peel it off.
Yeah, with all my eyelashes. That's why I had to wear fake ones over
It's
the
a
weekend.
really dangerous game. Okay, well, how was your week?
It was great. You know, I wrote a fable and I kind of want to read it to you. But we'll probably leave that to another time.
Okay.
Because it's not spooky, so it wouldn't fit.
Oh, happy October.
Oh, hell
Well,
yeah.
Well, okay.
It's spoopy season.
Well, actually, it's September 30th at 11:34 p.m.
Okay, but by the time this is up, it is...
There's no doubt that it's spooky season at
yeah,
this
dude.
point.
Honestly, it's spooky season all the time for me, so I don't care.
I mean, good for you. That's a way to live.
It is. You know, one time when I was little, I went to this family's house, and on the inside, it was decorated in Halloween decorations throughout the whole year. And I was scared.
Was it, like, intense Halloween decorations
Yeah.
or just, like, cobwebs and stuff?
Intense.
I love that.
Like, and it was, like, their day-to-day decorations. Like, instead of, like, family pictures hung up on the wall, it was, like, skeletons. And there was like, a butler by the front door, but it, like, looked realistic. But he was also, like, slightly a zombie.
Just slightly.
But, like, yeah, but it wasn't, like, the cartoon kind of zombie. It was, like,
That's
scary.
weird.
I know, and
It's interesting, though.
What
Good
what
for
else
them.
was there? I don't know, but it was literally decorated, like, 365 days a year. Halloween.
That's pretty cool, actually.
I mean, yeah,
wouldn't
I
wanna
dig
live
it,
like that,
but also, like, I want to celebrate, you know, Christmas with Christmas, and, you know.
Did they, like, put a Santa hat on the butler during Christmas time?
Bro, I literally didn't even go there during Christmas time. It was, like, in the
come on.
summer.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
That was
weird.
the one time I went over. It was a friend of a friend.
Oh, okay. But how was your week?
I mean, it was wonderful.
Was it? I don't believe that.
I'm just so exhausted. So,
You did come over at 11:30.
yeah, and, well, I didn't get any sleep last night.
Mm-hmm.
Because my plane was really late and it kept getting delayed. So
Oh,
it was
really?
even later. Yeah.
Ugh.
So, but once I finally got here, it was like 1. And then I did some homework for no reason at all. Like, I could have done it earlier. Like, today, not last night. Anyways, so I went to bed super late, and then I had to wake up early for class. I fell asleep in class, and my professor...
Oh, did she notice?
He was the one that,
Oh.
You know, real cute. And the professor we talked about in that one episode.
Hey, your boyfriend listens to this podcast. Be careful.
I'm sorry, Parker.
Okay.
He knows about my love for my professor, though. He knows it already.
I thought you were talking about your professor. Like,
Oh.
my professor knows about my love for my professor.
My professor knows about my side hoe named Parker. Just kidding. But yeah, no, he had the girl sitting next to me wake me up, and then I woke up and he said, "Welcome back," and I was like, "Oh."
Yikes.
Yeah, so then I came home. I was falling asleep while driving back home. It was really bad. And then so I literally was like, okay, I know I have to study for this exam tomorrow, but I'm going to take a fat nap.
And it was a good fat nap, though?
Oh, God, yes. It was a solid 3.5 hours. So.
Dude, nice.
But yeah, I woke up and then I did all my homework. And
Well, good for you. You were productive, even if you fell asleep in class.
yeah, and then I studied as hard as I could for this math test tomorrow, so
That's
we'll
good.
see. I'll update y'all in the next episode if I did good or not.
Stay tuned.
What about you?
It was okay. The only thing that really happened is I was supposed to get glasses in the mail today, and they didn't come in the mail.
That is so sad.
I know, it said that they were out for delivery today.
How are you gonna see?
I'm
look at
wearing
you
glasses
as-
right now.
As you're wearing glasses.
No, but it said that they were out for delivery. And they're not on my face.
They're not here.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Thank you for clarifying.
She has glasses on her face.
You know, I
but
have
Not the
glasses.
one she ordered.
Yeah. Have I shown you the glasses I ordered?
No, not at all.
Okay, I'll show you later.
And we're gonna post them on the Instagram so everyone else can see the glasses you're wanting to order.
No, I already did order
she
them.
already did. Sorry.
I'm just not here.
Correction.
I mean, if you want to see, I guess, but I don't think anyone else wants to
I
see.
think we all do. Email me if you want to see.
We're starting with the plugs early, aren't we?
All right, guys, that's it for the podcast. Just follow us on Instagram. Thank you for listening. Goodbye now.
Okay, so
Just kidding.
Anyway, please don't leave. We still have stuff to do. So, are you ready to get into this case?
Yes.
Okay, so I had heard of this case before. I actually listened to a 2-part series on this case on the podcast Morbid Podcast. And then I was at work and I saw on my watch that I had a Reddit notification and it said that this guy was trending. So I was like,
Oh.
I'm just gonna do him then. So have you ever heard of Israel Keys?
No.
Okay.
I lost my keys, though.
Me too. Dude. Okay.
You just sounded like Curtis Connor saying, dude.
Thanks.
Anyways,
I tried really hard. It's like a really recent sort of case. So I'm just going to go ahead and get started telling you about his childhood. So, Israel Keys, as you see, I wrote "ew" in my notes right there.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't like him. I feel like that's obvious at this point. Yeah.
I was about to say, I don't know if I like him or not, but I mean,
I
considering
have a feeling
it's
you won't like him.
considering it's like he's the reason for death.
Something tells me you won't like this guy. So, Israel Keys was born in Richmond, Utah in 1978. And then as a child, they moved north of Corville, Washington. They just moved to Washington, you know?
That's what you do.
Yeah. Whenever you're a
I'm
young
moving to
child, you
Washington.
absolutely have to move to Washington at some
Oh.
point.
Oh, as a young child. Okay.
Oh, sorry, you're still a kid if you haven't moved to Washington yet.
Well, I'm going to move to Washington. That way I can grow up.
That's a good idea. It's like, you know how there's like bar mitzvahs? For white people, it's moving to Washington. That's how how you turn into a man.
That's how I can. I want to be 21, but I can't until I move to Washington.
Yeah, sorry, I don't make the rules here, buddy.
Oh man. Okay, he's a grown boy now.
Yeah,
he
grown.
moved to Washington. Go on.
Yeah, he's grown now. So he moved to Washington. We just went over that. I'm so good at notes. Okay, so once they were in Washington, his family became neighbors and friends of the family of someone named Chevy O'Brien Cahoe. who isn't significant to this story, but what I read is that he was an American white supremacist and convicted murderer, and he's serving 3 consecutive life sentences for the kidnapping, torture, and murder of William Weller and his family. So I don't know what happened there, but apparently he was, like, raised around killers.
Holy crap.
Or a killer. So I'll probably do an episode
they
on
were
him.
cousins?
No, they were just, like, family friends.
Oh,
like, they
okay.
moved next door to them, basically.
Ooh, you know,
Yeah.
my mom's next door neighbor, when she was young,
Mm-hmm.
was, you could tell he was going to grow up to be a serial killer,
Yikes.
which he did. Maybe I can do it.
Oh, that would be
maybe I
cool.
could actually, yeah. But anyways, my mom's mom always, my grandma, that's how it works. My grandma always, like, told her, like, go play with him, you know, like, y'all can be
Yikes.
friends, and he would, like, kill like cats and
That's
stuff,
the
like,
thing
for
that,
fun,
like, tends to lead into
yeah, like,
serial
if
killers
you
in a lot
really
of
enjoy
cases.
killing animals and watching their death, like, sad.
It's
We
so
just
sad.
lost all our viewers just from talking about dead animals.
We're talking about dead people. Jeanette, this is a true crime podcast. Did you forget why they were here?
I'm sorry, welcome back.
That was actually our second podcast that we do on the weekends. It was a secret podcast. Okay, but anyway, they moved next door to his family. That's all I really got on his childhood. Okay, so
His childhood is just living next to a murderer, basically.
that's it. Okay,
In
but
Washington.
in Washington. No, he's not a childhood. He's not a child anymore.
Damn, okay, never mind.
Okay, so he served in the U.S. Army in between 1998 and 2001. And then whenever his Army friends were, like, interviewed, they said that he kept to himself, but he was a heavy drinker. And he would often finish bottles, like, at a time of his favorite drink, which was called Wild Turkey Bourbon. Do you not have anything to say about that?
No, I was trying to think of how to word it. Like, I kind of want to see the, like, I guess the packaging of the bourbon.
Do you want to see what it looks like?
Oh, wait, I do.
Oh, have you seen it before?
No.
Oh, you
Like,
want to see what it looks
yeah,
like?
wait,
Let me...
I do want to see it.
Okay, let me
Give
see.
it to me.
Wait, give me a second. I have to get it pulled up. Oh. You're gonna interlude. Oh, it just looks like normal bourbon.
Oh, well, that's not fun.
Yeah, well, there's a turkey on it.
Okay, but, like, there's also a turkey on my freaking eggs.
Oh, but it's
No,
also only...
no.
Did you just say there's a turkey on your eggs?
I meant to say chicken, but then it wouldn't even fit the situation at all. Moving on.
Okay, anyway, so he was also into a music group that was called the Insane Clown Posse.
He started that?
No, he was into that group.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, that's
okay.
just music that he listened to. And apparently,
Because I'm pretty sure Pennywise is the lead guitarist.
this is our second Pennywise episode, actually.
Surprise, we're back. Anyways, go on.
We keep just saying that we're doing
Hold on,
different
no.
podcasts.
No.
Why do we keep doing that?
No, this one would be titled The Secret Life of Pennywise. He's the lead guitarist.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so anyway, he was very into the music group called the Insane Clown Posse, which I was talking to my boyfriend about, and he was saying they suck, basically.
Oh.
Or they suck and they give, like, really bad messages to children. And, well, not children, but they give bad messages in their music, so...
Not after Washington.
Yes, that's true. Not after Washington. So, okay, so Israel... I'm just going to go ahead and spoil it. He got caught. Spoiler alert. I'm sorry.
I mean, at least it's solved.
Yeah, I'm not going to do the same thing I did last time.
That hurt my brain.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Okay, but there were 3 confirmed murders, and then he did confess to 8 other ones, but they couldn't confirm it necessarily. I'll explain why a little bit later. So let me tell you a little bit of how he did things, okay? I'm just going to read this quote, okay? According to Keyes, his usual routine would be to fly to some area of the country, rent a vehicle, and then drive somewhere hundreds of miles to find victims. He would set up and bury murder kits somewhere in the targeted area, I had a hiccup, excuse me. Stashing items like shovels, plastic bags, money, weapons, and ammunition, and bottles of Drano to help dispose of the bodies. His Myrtle...
Moaning Myrtle.
Oh gosh, I'm so sorry. Okay, his murder kits have been found in Alaska, New York, but he admitted to having others in Washington, Wyoming, Texas, and possibly Arizona.
So he traveled?
Yeah.
I think that's even creepier. Okay, I
mean,
it's
so
in
creepy.
general it's creepy, but like while you're just driving for
You know,
hours, you're like, yeah.
This is what I'm gonna go do.
Yeah,
You know,
for
he would fly somewhere and then take a car to basically go in the opposite direction. That way it wouldn't be traced back to him. Like where he was.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And so what he would do is he would look for victims in like really open outdoor areas like campgrounds, parking trails, and boating areas. And so do you want to know what he looked for in people? Because you know how serial killers usually have a specific type.
Always. Yep.
Yeah. So
it's just like dating, you know.
His was they couldn't be children, a dog, or a mother. He liked dogs. He had a child and he had a mom, so those
he was
were
the
right
one
out.
serial killer that didn't start off killing dogs.
Actually, I don't think he liked cats, so it's...
Oh, there we go.
Yeah. But those, he wouldn't kill them, so if they had a dog, he wouldn't do it, and if the woman was a mother, he wouldn't do it. And their house had to have an attached garage and no cars in the driveway in order for him to do it.
I wonder if he was OCD.
I don't know. That's a good question. He could have been.
Way specific.
Yeah.
I mean,
But basically, that's just how he would do his murders. And then he would commit the murder. He would hide the body, basically, dispose of the body, and then he would leave the geographic area. Like, he'd just peace out, you know?
Did he have a specific way of hiding the bodies? Like, just burying them, or...?
Well, I'll talk about, like, each of the 3 confirmed murders, and there was, like, 2 different ways that he did that.
Oh, okay.
So, we'll go over it. Don't even worry about it. Okay. So, we'll get started on this first one. Okay? So, don't look at my notes.
Cheating.
So, he flew from Alaska to Chicago. This was on June 2nd, 2011. And then he rented a car and then drove to Vermont. So he really was going out of his way to make sure that no one knew that he was going to be there. He spent 3 days in Vermont, and apparently he even bought a fishing license while he was there, by the way.
Oh.
That's not important to know. I just thought that was interesting.
It would... Wait. Okay. So he liked to fish. What a random thing for him to do while he's just planning such a
You keep that in mind.
Event.
Keep fishing in mind for later, but keep it in mind. Okay, so
I swear if he doesn't engross with his fishing.
So the people that we're going to be talking about right now are the Curriers. So this couple's name was Bill and Lorraine Currier. That is a hard last name for me to say, so I'm just going to kind of... Currier. And go ahead and guess why he chose them as victims.
Because there was no dog, child, or...
One more thing.
Mom?
That is one of the things, but...
Was it what?
It's because...
Oh, and the driveway, the garage.
Yeah, there was an attached garage. So that was really the only reason that he chose them, which is so sad because they were just living their life and he randomly chose these people.
Nice.
It's very sad. So I
wonder why he likes attached garages.
It's that way like he can just get away faster.
Oh, I guess so.
Yeah.
That makes sense, I guess.
So he can... Like, they can go into the garage. He can push them into the garage, and the car won't be able to be seen. Like, he won't be able to be seen in the car.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I guess.
Okay, so He cut the phone line, which is terrifying on its own. I don't know, just something about cutting phone lines. I don't like that. Yeah.
Well, no, I can see that. And, like, in scary movies where they, like, cut the camera's cords and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, before they do their deeds. That way there's no...
Yeah.
That's what it reminds me of.
So he cut the phone lines, and then he broke into the home's attached garage.
There we go.
And he made his way into the kitchen, and then he went really fast. Like, he very quickly tried to do all of this, and then he made his way into their bedroom. And that's where he found Bill and Lorraine. So they woke up, and they just saw him standing over them.
Wait, what time was this at?
This was in the middle of the night.
That's scary.
Yeah. So he just saw them standing. I'm so sorry. They just saw him standing over them, which is absolutely terrifying. And also, he was wearing a headlamp at the time to make it easier for him to see.
Easier for him to see?
Yeah, like
What?
like a headlamp. Like,
oh my god, I was literally thinking
like a normal lamp.
A lamp shade. That's what I was thinking. I was like, does he think he's a light bulb? He's stupid.
I wouldn't doubt it, but okay, so
yeah,
he was wearing
like,
a headlamp, and then he broke into their bedroom. I just forgot to add that part about the headlamp. And he began to talk to them to kind of get information about their house, like where they kept the ATM card, where they kept a safe, and like things like that. And if they had a gun. That was one of the big things. So after doing all of that, he took her gun and he like ushered them to the car. And I don't have this in my notes, but I heard it in the Morbid podcast, and I just thought it was really interesting to note, is that he found out that Bill was in the same branch of the army as him. And so he, like, talked to him about it. Which...
Like, before he killed him?
Yeah.
And
so Bill was, like, trying to, you know, humanize himself. But Keyes had already had it in his mind that he was going to kill this person.
Yeah.
You know? So he forced them into the vehicle. And then they went to an abandoned house that he had found earlier. So... once they got there, he tied Bill to a stool in the basement. And then he just left Lorraine in the car. She managed to escape at some point, and he had to run and tackle her back down, which makes me so sad.
That is really sad.
She got out of it for a second. But he tackled her down. And then he went into the basement, and Bill was, you know, he was concerned about his wife.
Right.
Obviously. So he was just asking, where's Lorraine? Where is Lorraine? And he shot him. I'm so sorry. He shot him like multiple times because this is what he said is it pissed him off. And because this isn't the way that he wanted to do it. But he had lost control whenever Bill was asking where his wife was. So he shot him multiple times.
How is
fatally.
he wanting to do it?
I don't think he said.
No one probably knows.
Yeah, but that's just not the way that he wanted to kill him.
So, but he was shooting him not to where it was like a direct shot. So he was still like dying slowly, basically.
No, he was fatally shot.
Oh, okay. So
yeah.
He just died.
Yeah, he died. And this was in the basement. So before this had happened, he whenever he had found out that she had escaped, and he went and tackled her. We already went over this. He brought her into the bedroom of the home and tied her to the mattress in like the most uncomfortable way that he could. Like, it was his goal to make her feel uncomfortable.
Ew.
I know.
That's so creepy.
And then after he, shot Bill, he went back to the bedroom where he cut off her clothes and sexually assaulted her twice. And during the second sexual assault, he choked her. This is what he said, is that he choked her so hard to where she had lost consciousness. So after that, he brought her body down into the basement and like made her look at her husband. And then he strangled her. He sat her down on a bench and then strangled her with a rope after that. And then after that, I believe he poured Drano on them and then tossed them into a corner of the basement and then covered them with debris and filth. But based off of everything that he said, it is very clear that they fought hard. They fought so hard. And Lorraine was trying to run and get help for her husband and that sort of thing. But
so depressing.
Their bodies were never found.
The hell did I know that he was going to sexually assault her? Literally every person that is like out to murder someone, they like go ahead and do that too.
Yeah, it's very sad. I don't know.
So
there are a lot of more sexually based killers. I don't think he was one, but he very easily could have been.
Oh yeah.
But well, no, he definitely wasn't sexually based. No, I don't know what I'm saying. He randomly chose people.
I forgot what movie it was, so I really can't like quote it, but I remember watching a movie and it was about a murder story. This guy was forced to watch his wife and his daughter get raped and then killed. And so he spent like years trying to find this guy that did it.
Yeah. And
then he finally found him. And I remember that it was also like not a true story because he made this like medicine that like not numbs him, but like made it to where he couldn't move, but he could feel everything. And so then he was like, so the guy who had the wife and the daughter was like chopping off his like, oh my gosh, that first, and then did his other limbs and stuff. So the murderer who did all that horrible stuff was getting extremely painful payback from this guy. And he had his wife and his daughter hanging above the table so he could look at the people he murdered the whole time.
Oh, that's
And I was so young when I saw this movie. I need to find the name of it. I know my brother-in-law knows the name of it, so I'll have to get back to you on that.
Oh my
But
goodness.
I was watching that and I was literally scared to death because I was so little. But anyways, it scarred me. I remember it very vividly.
That's absolutely terrifying.
Yeah, but anyways, I don't know. That just reminded me of it because, of course, he like raped them and then killed them. It's so sad.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot to say that he left their bodies in garbage bags. And the reason that he chose this home was because that house was going to be demolished soon. So their bodies were never found, sadly. But that's all that he had said about it. After doing that, he left their car in a parking lot and then drove his car to Maine and then returned to Vermont. Nope, hold on. I messed up my notes. Whenever he had returned to Vermont, he saw that there was crime scene tape around their home. And Keyes told the police, this is just a direct quote, he left Vermont and continued to follow the Currier case through the Vermont press. After his arrest in Alaska, spoiler alert, I'm sorry, he told authorities he would stop cooperating if he was publicly linked to them. So, he threw the gun and the weapon that he had stolen from the Curriers into a reservoir in Parrishville, New York, and both of them were discovered by the FBI dive teams. So they did find the weapons
Dang.
they were killed with.
That is so sad.
Yeah, it really is. But that was sadly the more mild one of...
Oh, God.
Yeah.
It's worse than that.
Yes. It's... Yeah, this next one is an 18-year-old girl. And it was pretty gruesome. So, this next part is going to take place in Anchorage, Alaska.
So this was where he got arrested?
Yes.
After this one?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
It was after this one. So, Keyes had selected a coffee shop to be the place for his next abduction. There was a coffee shop that was called Common Grounds Coffee, and he had considered other places.
That's a really cute name for a coffee shop.
Isn't it? I think that's
Common
so
Grounds.
cute. Yeah.
Oh, that is so cute. Anyways,
so cute.
So
But this was like a coffee kiosk. So it was just like outside, kind of like, have you been to the Human Bean before?
No, but I have been to Blue Moose. Is it kind of like that one?
I don't know what Blue Moose is, but we'll go ahead and say yes. Yeah, it's like an outdoor coffee place, basically. Okay. So he figured that would be the easiest.
Okay.
So Keyes went to get some coffee, and he asked the barista named Samantha Koenig for an Americano. And once she made the coffee, and then she gave it to him, and he pulled out a gun on her and requested money. There is actually video footage of this happening, like surveillance camera footage of this happening. And it's kind of terrifying because you just see her like raise her hands up, and it's just, it's so heartbreaking. But she complied, and she let him inside of the coffee stand, and she didn't really let him, he just forced himself in, and he tied up her hands with zip ties. He asked her where her car was, and she said that she didn't have one, and that she was sharing it with her boyfriend, and that, well, he wasn't there at the time. And then she actually, as well, got away for a second. And so she started running away, and yeah, he chased her and then tackled her again. Yeah. So they walked to a parking lot, and that was where his truck was parked, and he had prepared the truck for the abduction. So he took off the license plate, and he took away like any toolboxes or anything that were in the truck. So he had it prepared for this abduction. Yeah. So
I think that was pretty loud.
Yeah, sorry, I just moved the microphone. I'm sure it was audible. It just was not close enough to us. It wasn't, we couldn't hear. Okay, so basically he bound her inside the truck, and then he just drove away. And as he was driving, he was saying that this was a kidnapping for ransom, and she was saying that her family didn't have a lot of money. And he basically just said, well, you better find a way to get some. Like, the community better raise some for you then. So he convinced her that if she cooperated, she would be returned to her family. Which was a lie, as he figured out that was who he was going to kill. And so there was, like, his mind was set on it. There was no way he wasn't going to. Yeah. But he told her that if she cooperated, she would be unharmed. And she, didn't have a choice. She had to believe him in this scenario. So he realized that she didn't have her phone. And it was a part of his plan was to send a text from her phone. So they had to drive back to Common Grounds, and he went, got the cell phone, and then got in the truck and drove away. So after, he drove her away, he realized that she didn't have her cell phone on her, which was an integral part of... I'm sorry, what are those sounds?
Why did it sound like you have a third story and someone was, like, walking? That's literally how it sounded to me.
I hated that. Okay.
They couldn't hear the sounds, but it literally sounded like someone was walking on your ceiling. Oh my god. I thought you got scared.
I was staring at you, like,
I know.
deadpan. Okay. Anyway, so her phone was an important part to his plan. So they drove back and got it. And then he sent 2 messages from her phone after he got it. He had left her bound in the truck, and then he went and got her. He sent 2 messages. One of them was to her boyfriend, and then the other one was to the owner of the coffee shop. And they were just trying to make it... he was just trying to make it seem like she was having a really bad day and didn't want to be spoken to. So then he took the battery out of her phone. He asked her for her debit card, and she said that she had shared a bank account with her boyfriend and that his ATM card was in the truck that they had shared. So she told him where the house was and gave him the PIN number for the ATM card. So he put her in the shed that was at his house. He bound her inside of it, and then he turned up the radio all the way. That way no one would hear her screaming. And he took a police scanner, or he told her that he had a police scanner as well. That way he would know if she attempted to alert the neighbors. So he really thought that through, which is so sad. So...
No, murderers really do have, like, a plan.
Yeah, they really do.
Like, good ones. I mean, I hate to say that they're good, but, like, successful murders.
Most of them tend to be really smart, which is probably
Risky.
The worst part of it, honestly. Okay, but, well, after he did that, he drove to her house and got the ATM card from the truck. And while he was there, he was confronted by the boyfriend. And then he yelled at him and then ran back into the house and tried to, like, get help. But while he did that, Keyes drove back away, having the card and everything like that. He drove away before help could be gotten to him. And he went to an ATM machine and he, like, made sure it worked. And then he went back to the shed. So, at this point, he got back to the shed, and he just basically talked to her for a little bit. I read somewhere that he, like, had poured her, like, a glass of wine and was trying to get her to, like, relax.
That's freaking creepy.
It's awful. He was, like, trying to make her feel more... Yeah.
Did she drink it?
I'm assuming so.
I wouldn't have.
I don't think she really had another choice, though. Like,
I
she was
guess
still
so.
trying to be compliant.
I probably would have been thinking that it was poisoned, though.
Yeah,
honestly.
that's fair. But, I mean, she still thought that she'd be able to be free in that.
That's so sad.
Yeah. After that, he sexually assaulted her, and then he asphyxiated her, which, well, killed her. And then he left her in the shed and then went back into his house. And guess what he started doing? Packing for a cruise that he was taking with his girlfriend and daughter.
What the heck?
Yeah, he was going on a family cruise.
Just going back to normal. Oh
Yeah,
yeah, I
like-
just killed someone, but whatever.
Like nothing happened. So he left the next day on the cruise. And keep in mind, her body was in the shed the entire time, which is so sad. So he got back into Anchorage, Alaska on, what day was it? February. It's a hard month to say. February. February 17th, 2012. And, well, he decided that he still wanted the ransom money from her family. So, he began to prepare a ransom note and demanded that money be placed onto the account with the ATM card that was connected to it. He went into the shed, and this was in Alaska in winter, keep that in mind. Her body was frozen solid. So he tried to thaw her out. I'm so sorry. That's the best way that I'm able to say that. I believe he took a hairdryer and
God.
tried to thaw her out. So he did that and then tried to make it look like she was alive. So he put makeup on her and everything, and then tried to pose her as if she was alive. So, and he had her holding a newspaper from the 13th. That way it would seem recent and that she was still alive on that day. When, remember, she had passed away on the 1st. So he did that. And he made it positioned to where it looked like she was holding a newspaper. And then he used a typewriter and typed a ransom note for $30,000 on the back of the photo. Now, what I just said wasn't the creepiest and worst part of that photo. He had to make her look alive. So he sewed her eyes open.
Oh my God.
And that picture is on the internet. Did you want to see that?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's absolutely terrifying to look at. Yeah, I feel so bad, but he used that as a ransom note, and on the back of it he requested $30,000. Or didn't request, he demanded it as, yeah, he sent that. He put that poster underneath a memorial flyer of a dog that was in the parking lot. And, well, it was a poster for a dog. Like, oh my goodness, I'm so bad at talking. I apologize. It was a memorial poster of a dog. So he put that there, and then he took her phone, and he texted, goodness, I'm sorry, I was trying to find the text. He texted her boyfriend and said, "Connor Park sign under pic of Albert, ain't she purty?" So he sent that to her boyfriend, saying that that's where the ransom note could be found. I know.
That is so sad.
It is. Oh, the dog's name was Albert, by the way, in case that, yeah. So, the note was recovered, and her father tried to get the money together. Like, tried really, really hard to get all of the money together for it, and eventually they did succeed. But at that point, he had already, gotten rid of her body. And the way that he did that was he went ice fishing, and he put her body under water, and it was in Matansuka Lake, which was near Palmer, Alaska. And he said that he had cut a hole, so it would be disguised as ice fishing. And an assistant, I'm just going to read this word for word. This is from Oxygen. It says, Assistant U.S. Attorney Frank Russo told Oxygen's 2-hour special Method of a Serial Killer. So I asked him, did you catch any fish? And he said, yeah, I caught a fish. And I go, what'd you do with them? And he says, I took them home and ate them. So that really kind of turned my stomach. Except he ate them, and he fed that fish to his family after doing it.
It's disgusting.
Isn't it? It was awful. Truly, truly awful. So her dad got all of the money together using donations from the community, and they put all of the money onto the ATM card. And so this is basically how he was caught at this point. So they were going to try to track down that killer by using wherever the ATM card was used. Mm-hmm. So withdrawals. Wow.
Withdrawals.
I really messed up that word. Withdrawals were made in Anchorage, Arizona, New Mexico, and Texas. And they were able to determine that those doing this were a Ford Focus. So in Texas, the Texas Rangers tracked the perpetrator of the withdrawals, and then he was pulled over, and while he was driving, in his car, they had found her phone, and the ATM card was in his wallet. So that was pretty damning evidence that it was him that did it.
I mean, he was smart up until that point, honestly.
Yeah, no. So, he was obviously taken into custody and was put under a lot of questioning, and ended up being in a holding cell while he was being questioned. And all of his interrogations are on YouTube as well.
Mm-hmm. I kind of want to watch things after this.
Yeah, we totally can. I think they can hear you cracking your knuckles.
I was trying to do it far away so y'all wouldn't have to hear that, but
you're so nice.
You're welcome.
But I think all of those are on YouTube. I watched some, and it's terrifying because he shows absolutely no remorse or anything like that. But he confessed to those 2 murders, and he really did give a lot of detail over it. He gave them the information they needed.
Well, going back to giving all the detail, it literally, if you're a murderer, you're obviously proud of how you killed people.
Yeah.
So in that situation, he's already caught, so he's you know what,
might as well brag.
Yeah, might as well okay, yeah. Well, I did this, I did that. It's sickening, honestly, but not sickening in a good way.
I don't think anyone thought you meant in a good way.
I know, but when I say sickening, I immediately think of pigment and eyeshadow.
Oh yeah,
from Jeffree Star. But anyways,
not the point.
Not at all. But it truly is sick when you know that they're enjoying describing every little thing.
And so he was really, like, going into detail describing murders, and police do think that they've traced him back to 8 other ones other than that, so they think that there was a total of 11 in the United States, possibly more, which is so many. I mean, obviously, even one person is a lot, but
That's so scary.
it really is. But anyway, I'm sorry. So he gave them a lot of information, and something that's chilling to know, if you watch his videos, he's holding an Americano from Starbucks, which is the thing that he
ordered when he got.
Yeah, the thing he ordered.
That's horrible.
Yeah, I think he was holding that and a bagel. The bagel is much less horrible. I just wanted to tell you about that. I thought you'd want to know.
I'm throwing some big philosophy things in there, but imagine what the bagel was thinking.
I don't think the bagel was thinking anything.
I'm in a murderer's hands and he's about to murder me too. That's what the bagel was thinking.
Are you about to stop eating bagels forever?
Maybe.
Okay, but anyway. He gave them a lot of information. And then he ended up, before they could get all of the information, pin him on different murders, he ended up committing suicide.
Oh my god.
In his jail cell.
How did he do that? They usually... Because this was in 2012, so...
Mm-hmm. He,
cut
his wrists.
With what?
I actually don't know.
Because they usually... Well, I mean, I know for sure today. I don't know when they started doing this, but they, especially like in his case, they would like literally strip them down so they couldn't kill themselves.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
And like wouldn't have anything in the cell to where they can like make something to kill themselves. And
I'm sure it was with a razor blade. That does tend to be the normal thing that they do. Let me see.
How old was he again?
Well, he was born in 78. I think he was 34 whenever all of this happened. So he was young. Yeah, I'm not too sure how he did it. I know that it was blood loss that killed him, but I'm not too sure exactly how he did it. But he did leave a suicide note. Before I do talk about that, I wanted to say they did find Samantha's body. I forgot to say that earlier. A direct quote is, as the CIA or FBI diver says, as a diver, when you first place your hands on that person underwater to bring them home, you start to get a feeling that this is now beyond evidence in a case because we are the first people to put our hands on the victim since the killer. You're happy, but how happy can you be when you've got a dismembered girl in front of you? Which is so sad.
It was so sad. God.
Yeah. But he committed suicide, and he did leave a note, and it is a very long note. Let me see if I can figure out exactly how long it is, because it was a lot. I don't think I can. Okay, well, it was long. It takes up almost an entire page in my notes. So, I'm just going to read for you the parts that I've highlighted as, well, the entire thing is online. I did find it transcribed because I've seen pictures of the original one. I will post one of those on the Instagram, but I just could not make out his handwriting, honestly. It was cursive, and yeah. The opening line for this says, "Where will you go, you clever clever little worm if you bleed your host dry. So that's how he started that. I'm going to read a little bit further down. It says, I looked in your eyes. They were so dark, warm and trusting, as though you had not a worry or a care. The more gullus the game, the better potential to fill up those pools with your fear. Your face framed in dark curls like a portrait. The sun shone through highlights of red. What color, I wonder? How straight will it turn, plastered back with the sweat of your blood? Your wet lips were a promise of secret unspoken, nervous laughter as it burst like a pulse of blood through your throat. There will be no more laughter here. I feel your body tense up, my hand now on your shoulder. Your eyes. Forget the lady called Luck. She does not abide near me, for her powers don't extend to those who are dead. There were illegible words here, so I don't know what that says. Would that I could keep you, let you be the master of your own fate, knowing full well what's at stake? My pretty captive butterfly, colorful wings, my hand smears. I somehow repaint them with punishment and tears. Violent metamorphosis, emerge my dark moth princess. I would come often and worship on the altar of your flesh. You shudder with revulsion and try to shrink far away from me. I have you tied down and begging to become my Stockholm sweetie. And the last line of it is, watch close while I work now. Feel the electric shock of my touch. Open your trembling flower, or your petals I'll crush.
The whole moth part kind of reminded me of like Silence of the Lambs, the movie.
Yeah, I can hear that.
Like, moth thing. But honestly, he would have been better off as a writer instead of a murderer.
I hate that poem just because it's him that does it, you know?
Wait, that was an actual poem?
That was
like turned into like a...
Well, that was his suicide note.
Well, yeah, but like it turned into a famous poem?
No. No, he meant for it to be a poem. So that's why I referred to it as such. Yeah, sorry.
And I was like, I hope that's not famous.
No, it's not.
Dies after being a murderer, but then his second life he's a famous poet.
Yeah, I'd be really mad about that, and I feel like all of the victims' families would too. Yeah, maybe he could have not, done the things that he did and
just been a poet.
Yeah, I feel like that would have been a better career choice for him. But something that's crazy to me about all of this is he did have a girlfriend, like a long-term girlfriend and a kid.
Seriously, so scary.
It's terrifying. And they didn't know anything was going on. And the fact that there was a girl's body or a woman's body in their shed and they didn't know about it.
It's so scary to look. Because, I mean, he's not the only murderer that had, like, a girlfriend or a wife or something, you know?
No.
And it's like, I mean, shoot, Ted Bundy had
a long-term girlfriend. Yeah.
But it's so scary because it's like they thought they knew that person and he's out killing people on the side. Like, that's so scary.
It is so terrifying. And it really just makes you question things, which I'm in no way questioning anyone I know, but it just, yeah. Okay, well, that was the really dark and sad episode about Israel Keys.
No, that was, wow.
Yeah.
It's like that whole time I was kind of lost when it came to words because it was like, really dark. What do you do in that position?
Yeah, no, I didn't give you a very easy way to make commentary. Like, I'm sorry.
I was here for it. These stories are very intense, but I really like hearing them, and I think other people should like hearing them, which is weird, but it's because, I don't know, like you said, it kind of makes you more aware of your surroundings.
It does.
Like, yes, people know murderers are out there, kidnappers are out there.
Yeah.
You know, all of that. But when you're hearing the detail and the, I don't know, like, all the scary, like, points in
it makes
these
you
murders,
want to pay
it's
attention to
like,
the world.
it's like, oh, well, shoot, even at a coffee shop, like, I need to be careful at, like, I'm not saying live in fear.
No.
Because don't, what the hell, don't do that. I'm not telling you to live in fear, don't do that. But you should be aware of your surroundings. Like, if you're ever going to be alone, you need to make sure you, like, have pepper spray, or, you know, like I have a rape whistle that my dad got me, which would work in any kind of situation besides rape too.
Of course, yeah.
It just brings attention to you and
which is
whoever.
the point of it. Yeah.
So, but yeah, there's that. Like, I don't know. I just be aware. It's like, that's why I like hearing these stories, just because, I don't know, they are interesting, as much as you wouldn't really want to say that because it's sad, but it is interesting to kind of see. I would also like to know more about his, like, the psychological aspect of himself. You know, like...
Yeah, like what he thought about everything that he was doing. Like, from things that he didn't say out loud to interviewers.
And also, like, his medical past. I wonder if that's out there. Like, if he ever went to a therapist. If he ever... You know, because I know there are murderers that have had, like, past doctor experiences too, you know?
Which is absolutely terrifying.
It is.
And makes me feel awful.
But, I mean, you obviously can't be in a good state of mind if you're a murderer, so.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Well, it's really hard to end on a high note.
I know, it is.
So, I looked up a fun fact. Do you want to hear it?
Sure.
Okay.
Is it a high note?
Yeah, no, it's a high note.
God.
It just says, in Switzerland, it is illegal to own just one guinea pig. That's all.
What?
I don't know.
It's illegal to own one guinea pig?
Yeah.
Well, hey, that's good. Do you know why, though? I mean...
Are you asking me if I know why, or you know why?
Well, no, like, I know why you shouldn't have just one guinea pig. But, yeah. I mean, it's not illegal. But I do know why, like, it's not really nice to just have one, because they're one of the most social rodents.
Yeah.
And so they can easily become depressed.
Which is so sad.
And very, like...
Oh, we didn't end on a high note. Darn.
Dang it. No, but listen, I had, like, 8 guinea pigs, and they were all living life, you know?
8?
Yeah.
That's...
Do you not remember one got pregnant? That's why I had so many.
I'm sure I remember that.
But, you know, they all loved each other because they were living together. No one was alone.
I mean,
so...
That's nice. That's good. Good for them.
I could finish that story, but then it wouldn't be a high note anymore.
Yeah, we're not going to finish that.
We'll just put emphasis on had 8 guinea pigs.
Goodness gracious. So we're going to say another fun fact.
Maybe something I can't, like, turn gray fast.
Okay, here's one. If you lift a kangaroo's tail off the ground, it can't hop.
Oh
my goodness. Okay, here's one. Bananas are curved because they grow towards the sun.
Just kidding. You honestly cannot turn that into something dark.
Yeah, no, we're not going to
Or maybe because they're trying to find the light in their dark lives.
Okay, they're bananas.
Philosophy, here we come again.
Okay, well, thank you for listening to our episode. It was kind of a more dark one than our last episodes have been.
Very dark.
Yeah. And just so you know, we are in no way bringing light to any situation. No way saying what happened is okay.
No, like I said, I mean, we do find these very interesting, and obviously the people listening are finding things like this interesting. But in no way, shape, or form are we talking about the murders and the victims
in a lighthearted
Yeah.
manner.
Like, I mean, y'all obviously can't tell because we pause it and stuff, but we took about 10 mental breaks in between.
Yeah. This was rough. This was a rough one. It's only been an hour of recording, but we've been up here for 2.5 hours, I think. No, math is hard. That's not 2.5. That's 1.5.
Yeah, but
it doesn't matter.
All I know is we literally took so many breaks because it's very hard to tell these victims' stories, but yeah, no, like, I mean, yes, we joke every now and then in these podcasts, but we also want to try to make them, entertaining, like in the beginning and stuff, but never will we joke about
No.
the victims, because that is just not, that ain't it, Chief.
Yeah.
So
do we want another happy note?
Yes.
Okay,
because we keep going downhill in this.
I'm so sorry.
Happy Halloween, everyone. By the way, as we're recording, it is now 1:05 a.m. So it is Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween. Spoopy season, bitches.
Okay, here we go. I found one. This one's a good one. Okay.
I'm ready.
Billy goats urinate on their own heads to smell more attractive to females. I hope it works for them.
Is that not how you were attracted to David?
That's actually, he always urinates on his head and then just walks over to me.
That's how I fell in love. I mean, come on. Who doesn't? We're all Billy goats in this world.
I'm sorry. Did I just let you take over for a second and it's late? Okay, let me...
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you for listening to this episode. This is the final high note. We're not... Stop. So follow us on Instagram at
Horror Slumber Party Podcast.
And follow us on Twitter at
party underscore horror. Gosh, there's a lot of R's. Okay, you gotta give us a break.
And then send us emails at horrorslumberparty@gmail.com. Send us any orders. I'm sorry, I just read the word order on my email. Don't send us your orders unless you want
I'd like to know your orders.
Send us what you usually get at Burger King.
A #1 combo.
I don't know why I just said Burger King instead of Burger King. I put the emphasis on King instead of Burger.
Burger King?
It feels weird.
Oh, that is weird. I don't like it.
Okay, well.
We did get our first request to do personal stories. And
I'm excited. I'm so excited for that.
I have my own personal story. And I'm actually going to do more research into it. So.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, like the hotel? I mean, not the hotel. I'm not going to spoil it. No.
But yes, at the place that this occurred, I want to do more research because I know for sure there's going to be some,
Yeah.
But yeah, so maybe that will be the next episode. We're really getting into spooky season, so now this is our month. This is it. We better shine. I'm going to post every single podcast episode just so people can have some entertainment during spooky season. They can play our podcasts while they're
trick-or-treating.
I was going to say while they're having a picnic in the middle of the night at a graveyard. Because I really want to do that, really badly.
No, thank you.
I want to do it. If anyone wants to have a picnic with me, let me know.
This was not an open invitation.
But I want it to be someone I know, please. Personally. Anyways.
Well, thank you for listening.
Yes, thank you so much. Good night and scary dreams.
Bye.